Hey y'all. Hey, what I'm going to talk about today is a key performance indicator. One of the very important things that I've added to my business is measuring key performance indicators. And I've also learned that you can't measure, if you can't measure something, you can't grow it. So I'm always looking for data. Key performance indicator will provide data. Data can be measured. And so a key performance indicator is also something I would call a KPI. I'm going to talk about one of the KPIs today that helped me, that gave me a major breakthrough at the beginning of my explosive growth. So the one I'm going to work on is revenue per person. Now, this particular key performance indicator was a number that I knew existed. I knew the equation for revenue per person, and I was building, I had been operating my business. The only reason I was using this number was to know when it's time to hire. And so I had a certain number that I'd been living off of for the past 20 years that when my revenue per person got between this number and this number, it was time to hire someone. And man, I just had no idea that revenue per person is actually an indicator of how your business health is. And I'm going to give an example. So I'm going to give the equation for revenue per person. So if you're taking notes, you're going to want to write this down. If you don't know what revenue per person is, please write this down. This is a really important number. This is a really important number. You need to know this. You need to be measuring this in your business. Total revenue divided by how many people work for you equals revenue per person. Very simple math. So sometimes people get this confused with how much sales a person did or bottom line. This is not bottom line. This is not sales per person. This is revenue per person. So you need to master this number. It's really important. Now I'm going to give an example of how this can drive your business, okay? And I'm going to use some really simple numbers. So we're going to use $1 million a year. That's your gross revenue. That's all the money that came in for the year, right? And then we're going to use number of employees, a simple divider. We're going to use 10 employees. So if you have 10 employees making $1 million a year, your revenue per person equals $100,000. Now, I want to show you how that shifts, okay? I want to show you what some little tiny shifts can make happen. So if you can get more people, if you can get more work done with less people or the same amount of work done with less people. So here's an example. $1 million revenue per person with 5 employees. Now you have $200,000 revenue per person, right? So $1 million gross revenue divided by 10 employees equals $100,000 revenue per person. $1 million gross revenue divided by 5 employees equals $200,000 revenue per person. So maybe you have 10 employees and you can't go to 5. Well, $100,000 revenue per person, this is always going to be a struggling situation. Always breaking even, scared to death of payday. You're so scared. Payday, you got to cut those checks. It's like, what do I have to stop doing this week? You know, every week it's tough to make payroll. Really, it's barely surviving in business at $100,000 revenue per person. And maybe you need 10 people. So how do I grow? So then you have to ask yourself, okay, I need to get to a number that's manageable. So a beginning number that's manageable is 200,000 revenue per person. Now, this is where when you hit $200,000 revenue per person, you're not profitable. What's happening is when payroll comes, you can make the check and keep moving. It's not, you don't have to worry. You don't have to be always concerned and scared, and things are beginning to happen at 200,000 revenue per person. Now, a profitable model is going to be about 250,000 revenue per person. So let's take that same model, right? And let's say you need the 10 employees, but you're making $1 million. You have to figure out how to grow your income to $2 million for the 10 employees, right? And then you'll be at $200,000 revenue per person. A lot of pain points are going to go away. However, you're not really going to be great profit. You're going to be maybe a little more than breaking even. Some months you're going to be making money, some months you're losing money, right? So now what you got to figure out is, can I grow this to 2.5 million with 10 employees? And that's $210,000 a month. And that equals $250,000 revenue per person. This also works on a much smaller model. So if you have a $500,000 business and you have 10 employees, well, you're like juggling, spinning plates, juggling, maxing out every credit card you have. You've got to figure out how to lower those employees down immediately, right? Get the 10 down to 5. Now you're at 5 employees making 500,000. So pick the 5 people that you just don't need on your team, and you got to make a decision. Here's the real decision. Whose business is this? It's my business, right? I love the people on my team, and there's going to be some hard decisions made with this, but revenue per person is the number that's going to drive my business to success. My business is going to help my family, my team, my team's family, and in turn, my community. Revenue per person, drive it home, get to know it. Total gross sales divided by number of people on your team. You need to get this number to $250,000 minimum as soon as possible. Commit first, everything else will follow, right? Creativity follows commitment. Commit to it, make it happen. I believe in you. You can do it. Come on now. Hey, subscribe to my page if you're not. Comment. Let me know what you think of this video. Was it a waste of your time? Was it too long, too short? I don't want to hear this on Sundays. Thank you so much. This is what I needed to know. Come on now. Let me know. Please let me know how I'm doing. Good, bad, I don't care. Just let me know how I'm doing. Be great, y'all. Come on now.